Okay. All right. Don't touch anything.
Yeah.
All right. So the topic tonight is going to be somebody wanted to discuss. I guess it has to do more with expectations with like pretty guarantees, and I do blame corporate for this.
Mm.
Now, back in the day, so let's talk 20 plus years ago when I worked corporate, they had the guarantee that if you didn't like the groom, you didn't have to pay for it. Okay. But they were still supposed to give commission, even though they opted not to to charge the customer. And that was in, by the way, the employee manual.
Hmm.
But on more than one occasion, I'd have to go and I'd have to argue with them. Well, where's my commission? And it was a cluster or whatever on finally getting that straightened out. Right. And it took a while. So again, I blame the corporates for even starting that in the first place. And and I understand that they still do that. Am I correct?
I'm not sure. The
I've
only
never
corporate I've
worked
ever
with-
worked was under Melissa Conti Diener, believe it or not, for about a month. And I could do whatever I wanted, so I don't know.
Okay, for those who are working corporate, let us know if that is still a thing. But I think what that did is that it trained pet owners that if they didn't like something, they didn't have to pay for it.
Hmm. Yeah, and that's unreal and unheard of, as far as I'm concerned. Those are minutes that you spent on a service that they asked for. Even if they don't like it, they should pay and then just not come back if they don't like the services that you're offering. There's no reason to give away a free groom at all, in my opinion. I even know a groomer who did nick a dog, and they took to that, paid the whole vet bill minus the grooming fee. Because the groom was all the way done, and if they ask for something right at that last minute, that's when that accident happens.
Well, no, and the same thing. The one accident that I had when I nipped the tip of the tail and it looked like a murder scene in my van because the dog was very happy and is wagging its tail and it's like spraying blood from one end of my van to another. It was terrible.
Perfect.
But anyway, they still paid for the groom. Hey, so Vanessa just went to PetQuest and was fitted for Evolution chairs. Awesome. You are going to love them.
Yeah. It's the only shears I use.
So, but anyway, and I think it has a lot to do with expectations, right? I don't know how much the corporates tie groomers' hands these days, because like I said, it's 20 years since I've been in a corporate shop.
Mm-hmm.
But it has a lot to do with the conversation that you're having with the client. It's that check-in, that they just want. Here, as an example, right? I get to a client's house and it's the mother of one of my clients. She can no longer get to the groomers, so I'm going to her. So the dog had not been groomed in a while. Little Maltese. And I walk in the house and it's one of these 3-story Victorians. And the chair in the hallway looks like a throne. And that's where she's sitting. She's sitting there holding this little dog. And she hands me basically a cube. It was like a square. One huge match, just hands me a cube and goes, can you leave a couple inches on the dog? And I'm looking at the cube And I looked at her, and I'm looking back at the cube, and I'm looking at her, and until she finally laughs and said, well, yeah, well, I tried. Shave it off. We'll start all over. But how many times are you handed a cube and you go, I'll do my best?
Mm-hmm.
Never.
I never say that. I took that out of my
No.
verbiage a long time ago.
Me
I'm
too.
very blunt, very blunt. I teach that too, because so many of us are so afraid to just say what we mean. We want to please the client. We don't want her to yell at us or him to yell at us while while we say we can't do what they want. But expectations are everything. Instead of saying, well, I'll save as much hair as I can, say, this dog is going to be naked and you need to bring a sweater. That's just how it's going to be. If you leave this dog with me today, right here, I'll return it to you with no hair. If I have to shave it, absolutely.
Yeah.
And not if, when I shave it.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's some that I do recover, impacted coats and whatnot, but I mean, not all of them. And there's a specific reason why I would save them. The people are going to pay the money that it takes to do that, and the dog is young and can withstand the work. If it can't, and it's old or frail or very young and unaccustomed to the grooming area, it's getting taken down.
I have 2 doodles that I groom she will not come more than every 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
They do not brush.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? Every time they come in, these old, blind, deaf, ancient, arthritic dogs come in and go, ugh, do you think I'm going to spend 2 hours dematting that dog?
Mm-hmm.
No way in hell.
Mm-hmm.
No way in hell. So they get short. And she goes, well, I want to keep them longer. And I said, then bring them sooner.
Mm-hmm.
And she ended up giving them to both of these dogs to someone else.
Mm-hmm.
And that person wants a groom every 6 months. And I said, I've groomed them their entire lives, but I absolutely refuse to groom those 2 dogs every 6 months. You need to come every 8 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's torture for them.
All right.
And
Someone makes mention that you have doodles over 10. They always seem to get cancer really early. Have you noticed that?
All of my doodles that I groom, and there are still quite a few, they're all over 11. All of them. And I must have 2 dozen.
Yeah, we have quite a few at the shop too that are just very elderly. Yeah, 14. We've got one that's 14. And I think it depends on their size too. The really giant ones are just like giant dogs and they don't last as long. But the smaller, medium or smaller doodles, absolutely they can live long.
I probably have at least 10 that are like Labradoodle, Golden Doodle, and more than a dozen of the mediums.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever medium-y, more of a large miniature poodle size.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
That is interesting though, because Christine Pearson actually mentioned the other day that she has 3 older Goldens all with cancer. And then somebody else piped up and said, you know what? We've got 4 all with cancer around the same age. So she's wondering, and then doodles, golden doodles are also getting those same symptoms. And it's all starting to coalesce at a certain age for those typey dogs.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. So Ricky, my golden, who passed just shy of 12, just shy. Okay. And had always been at that time that if you can get a golden past 12, that dog's going to live to 18, 19 years old.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to get him past. You got to get him past 12. Mm-hmm. So Ricky died of, and he had a really good breeder. So it wasn't somebody that overbred. He was a very conscientious breeder. Did all the testing, and he still ended up with a hemisarcoma. Someone pronounce it for me, please. Imagine a sarcoma.
Sarcoma.
Yeah, hemangiosarcoma.
Yes.
Thank you. We should have like little postcards and spell out and pronunciation.
Right. Oh.
But anyway, he had heart.
Mm.
and it just spread really quickly on him. From the time he was diagnosed to the time he passed away was like 2 weeks.
Mhm.
That was like the 14-year-old Golden, one of my favorite clients. He was in every month. His name was Taz. He was like a doll, and he loved his picture taken. He was a ham. He would choose his costumes and everything, and I couldn't get him out of the picture room. I had to bribe him out, and he would run away from me when I tried to take his costumes off. He's like, "No, it's mine. You gave it to me. You can't have it."
It's on
Uh,
me.
yeah, and so he was 14 when he passed. He was good. He was good. He was good. And then I said, geez, he's acting a little odd today. I can't put my finger on what it is, but he just seems like sad.
Mhm.
And he was the happiest dog in the world, but he just wasn't himself.
Mhm.
And she took him to the vet the next day, and he was gone that night.
You know, Ricky went to Atlanta Pet Fair, so he drove with us to Atlanta Pet Fair with Spirit's first trip to Atlanta Pet Fair. And honestly, he just looked a little tired there. He didn't look anything other than normal. And then he was going to come to Instagram with us, but he was gone before that.
Mhm.
Literally, he collapsed while at home. We brought him over to the vet. The vet didn't think he was going to make it to the ER because there was nothing he could do.
Mhm.
We got him down to the ER, and they didn't think we were going to make it home, but we still got 2 weeks.
Yeah. Over here, somebody's upset. I don't know what your name is, Facebook user. Says only ever saw one that was 14. He was a mini with probably 25 pounds of just tumors. He was 50 pounds. Yeah, 25 pounds of skin and bones and 25 pounds of tumors. And she was forced, or he was forced to groom him, and they gave such attitude.
That's Daria.
Dare you? Yeah, I can't relate to that because when I see the old ones, the decrepit ones, the ones that are on their last leg, it is my honor and privilege to help them feel better, at least give them a bath or wipe them down and get their nails in order, wipe their faces. So that doesn't bother me, but I know it does affect other people differently than myself. A lot of people don't feel comfortable doing older dogs or dogs with issues or tumors or things of that nature. But yeah, they need love too. They need to be clean too. And if they're still with us, I'm gonna do my best to make them feel comfortable.
But getting back on topic about guaranteeing any groom to be pretty, which I don't think is a reasonable request for an owner to make of us, especially if it's like the first time we're grooming and we have no idea what we're up against.
Mhm.
Um, Specifically with cats, over the phone before I even book a cat appointment. I use the phrase, I never promise pretty on a cat. I make them repeat it back to me. Repeat back what I just said. You don't promise pretty. Good. We want to make sure that is really clear. And until I actually get your cat on my grooming table, I don't know what I'm up against.
Right. Yeah, I agree. All the dogs that come in are, I only guarantee that I'll do my best and do as much as I can without harming the individual pet. And if the pet is over it, we're done. And we'll schedule to finish for another time. I won't redo a dog that's been done. They say, oh, well, could you take a little bit more off here? Once that dog sees the owner, the groom is over. It really is, unless it's a very calm dog. In my experience with myself and with so many other groomers that I've worked with, that nip, that cut, that nick of the tongue, the nick of the ear always happens on that last snip that they want you to fix something. And I just won't do it. I'm like, no, you know what? I'll put it in my notes and we'll catch it for the next time. That's it. That's it. I don't guarantee pretty shave downs either. I don't go over them and over and over them to make them smooth. I don't do that. It's not that your reward for not brushing your dog is not a beautiful shave down. It is absolutely what I can do. And then I don't try to scrape the skin over and over and over again either. Just trying to get it smooth to your liking. If you let your dog go, it gets what it gets and you don't throw a fit.
Okay. So Daria said that she doesn't have an issue doing the geriatric dogs. It's actually one of her niche things, but the owner and boss forced her to because the dog was walking in a wedding that weekend.
Oh, so it was circumstantial.
And
oh, I see.
She was one-on-one and they booked it for an hour, 15 minutes
Yeah, I
on
would
an
have praised
old,
her too.
lumpy, bumpy 14-year-old tumoury dog. They're not a sack of potatoes. They're dogs, and they have feelings. You can't stress force a groom on a dog because, well, I need it done. And I'm sorry. That's
Yeah,
how
you
he
think you're,
takes as long as it takes. He's an
yeah.
antique.
Yeah. Would you take your grandmother out of the nursing home and she's been bedridden and expect her to stand while you give her a shower or do
Yeah.
her hair or whatever? It's ridiculous. They're
Hi,
elderly,
Mindy.
they're ancient. Yeah.
So if anybody's wondering, this is not PJ's collar collection. I'm actually down at Celtic Canine in Pennsylvania. So yeah, this is not this is not my stuff. Hi, Anita.
All right. So setting expectations for the groom. All right. So, and again, just as another example, um, sweet little Shih Tzu, but owners are getting old. All right. And now they can't comb and brush their dog anymore. They still want the dog to look cute. And so we're going back and forth a little bit on it, trying to find what it is that is going to work for them. And I get there one day and the dog is worse than usual. Okay. So I'm looking at the dog and I'm going, I'm sorry, your dog is going to be naked. Naked. We're going to see skin. Okay. And I said, there's nothing I can do about it. Okay. Uh, so I get the dog in the tub and I'm able to get the boys. I'm able to get a 5 skip through it. Okay. And I'm finishing it up with a 4 blade. And the dog had a plush coat. So you know what? A 4 blade looked really nice. All right. They were so excited that I left hair on that dog. Hold on a second. I got to go scream at my dogs.
This is somebody who's spending time with me. Her mama and dada went to Germany. This is May.
Hello, Miss May. Yeah, Jazzy came down here with me. Come here, Jazzy Jazz.
Oh yeah, he wins the cute. Sorry. Sorry, homely baby.
All right. So I finished this dog up with a 4. It's got a plush coat, so it looks good. All right. And they're so thrilled with it because I told them the dog was going to be naked. Right. So I set the naked expectation, was able to leave a little hair, and then the groom is phenomenal. They ran into us in the supermarket one day, and the husband was one of these really big, burly trucker guys, and he just poked my husband and said, "Your wife is wonderful. We love her. Don't ever let me hear anything bad about you because you and I will have a conversation."
I guess.
Okay.
Yes.
So the point that, like I said, we're really trying to make is making sure good client communication, set the expectations, don't promise what you can't deliver, right? And when things are going to be shaved naked, and you know the best you can do is to shave that dog down naked. Don't leave the conversation with, "I'll do my best," knowing your best is going to be a shave down.
Now, if you can do a shave down and then save an inch of hair, you ended up saving a little bit of hair. That's just the bonus.
Yes.
But let them expect that the dog's going to be naked. And then if you can, use a 4 comb or something like that under there. Yay, we saved some hair.
I have a salon rule is under promise, over deliver.
Yep.
Yes.
And then you walk out with the dog with an inch of hair and going, "Oh my God, he looks beautiful." when they came in asking for, like this much hair left.
Or just take a
And I
little bit
go,
off.
nah, we're going to take him down. We're going to start all over. He's going to be naked.
Right.
And then I come out and he's in like a half inch, even a half inch all over. And they go, oh, that's beautiful.
I love that. Yep. Shannon is saying, oh, I love saying we're going to start over. Yeah, we're starting over today.
We're just going to start fresh, brand new, all new. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I had some Afghan hound people, a person who would travel from California this way a million months. They're no longer with us, but she used to come for me to groom her Afghans. And I told her, I said, straight up, I said, if you bring them to me matted, I said, you won't be able to show them for a while. I said, and if you keep doing this over and over, you'll ruin your chance of ever showing them in coat because they don't grow that long and they only live so many years. You've got a 4-year window to have a good coat on an Afghan hound. So I just told her, I said, don't come if they're matted. And they never did. She made sure that whatever she put them through, I don't know. But she made sure they were not matted when they came.
Someone asked, how long do you keep pictures? I have every picture of every matted, pelted, neglected pet that I have ever groomed since 2011.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's in 2011 is when I went digital, and it was a digital camera. And that's when I started taking pictures of those. So yeah, 2011. So 12 years. And I'll keep them until I retire. And the reason is, I am a nut. I'm totally a nut about saving pictures because a friend of mine got a review about a haircut she had given 3 years prior. 3 years. What? Crazy pants. So, and it was a 1-star review. And I said, did you keep the pictures? Please, for the love of God, tell me you kept the pictures. She said, yep, I have the pictures and I have the video. And I said, post them. And she did. And that review came down about 15 minutes later after those pictures went up.
Yeah, so now I'm retired almost 4 years now. I think exactly 4 years. Holy cow. Yeah, I'm retired 4 years. Holy cow.
Stop rubbing it in, Mary.
But last year, I ditched all my client folders that I had on Google Drive.
Mm-hmm.
If they post a bad review now, I'm going to be like, whatever.
Yeah. So Shannon's saying she has 65,000 pics, and she will not delete. I have every single picture I have ever taken of every single pet since 2011.
Okay, but I'm going to take that back because I still have client photos on my phone. But I'm now starting that process of going through and deleting them because I don't need 2,000 photos of clients on my phone anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I use them primarily for PowerPoints and teaching. Yep. Most everything I have now is a case study, so I can go back several years and say, okay, I had a case like that, and here it is, and
yep,
whatnot.
I do the exact same thing
because I like to use them in my graphics and whatever.
Yep. And it's like, oh, hey, have you ever seen a dog that has been a schnauzer matted to the skin, then urine-soaked legs and urine-soaked feet, and you peel them off, and underneath that, this is what there is. Well, so, and this is why forms exist. Went on intake. The woman's like, oh, he's not matted. And I'm like,
yeah, he is.
I always I give them a comb. If they say, I've been brushing them, I give them my metal comb and say, okay, show me. And you should be able to comb that hair all the way out.
See what I do first is I take that comb and go chunk, and I stand it up in the coat.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And they go, well, and I go, all right. So I pull the comb out and I said, now, if I were to put this in your hair, would it stay like that? And so, weirdly enough, you can pull right through it. But if you can go like kank and it stays like in the dog's coat,
Yeah. Mine
then,
always
you
does
know,
that.
if I let this go, it's going to fall out. But it's because they're matted.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
absolutely.
you can't tell me that you can take this comb and go all the way to the skin. And they go, well, no, but like this. And I'm like, right. And it's matted under that
Mm-hmm.
because you're surface combing.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And listen, since you're at Amanda's place, I know she's got something new going on, and you're holding that wonderful comb in your hand.
Oh, this is the All for Groomers. It's the hand saver.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the new All for Groomers. Tommy and Kem came out with this. It's you put it on a comb, and you don't have to hold this little itty bitty thing, which
Give you a
puts
grip.
pressure on your carpal tunnel and your muscle. You can just do this and
Mm-hmm.
comb.
When does those come out, Angie?
Um, when do they come out, Amanda?
Right before Hershey,
Right before Hershey.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think they're 30 a piece.
approximately.
So around 30 a
Mm-hmm.
piece, somewhere in there.
So many people are going to be able to jump for joy and be able to comb again with comfort.
Yeah. And that's no, you cannot eat it. And so Amanda is coming out with a new thing. Amanda, you want to come dance? Your
No, you guys,
little
not
happy.
yet.
She's like, oh no. All right. So, can I do this here?
Yeah.
All right. So these are the new grooming jackets that she's got.
Oh, nice.
Okay. And you can get your, you want to throw mine at me?
Sure.
All right.
Whoa, Angie's doing a striptease.
Da-da-da-da. Woo! Trust me, it's something no one wants to see. All right. So she's got smocks that she did not create the smocks, but she altered them. So it's got a belt in the back, and they are, I don't know if you can see how glittery these are. But they're shiny glitter. It's a glitter smock.
Oh. So
And,
the actual fabric itself has a glitter on it?
Yeah, it's got the glitter in it. So rather than hanging like a sack, you cinch it to give a little shape.
Nice. I like that.
So the smocks themselves, she did not create, but
Uh-huh.
she's altering them to make them like this is the
Yeah.
standard Celtic canine collar thing.
Yeah.
And to make them
Fitted.
fitted.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, and then the black ones are some fancy schmancy. Check this thing out. It's got like a corset in the back.
I gotta have that.
This is what I'm
I gotta
saying.
have that.
So the manufacturer of the schmuck makes up to 2X and as small as extra small.
Uh-huh.
And so I just set up my staff. I just got I got everybody, I'm not going to say how many, but some smocks, and everybody got a jacket too.
Now she
So-
can't take it off.
Yeah. So I got- when you have an arm that's been
Only
ripped
one arm.
yeah, that you have to kind of work around things.
Wow, they're coming out with all kinds of neat stuff.
Yeah, so that's some fancy. I don't know if you can see the shimmer of it.
We can't see the shimmer of the fabric.
You won't see it, Angie. It won't pick it up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. We can see it. It looks wet, kind of.
Yeah, and but it's glittery.
So is Amanda as Celtic Canine going to be at Hershey?
Oh yes, she absolutely is, and she's got So Celtic Canine and All for Groomers are back to back in the booths, and so Celtic Canine is right behind All for Groomers. So, and she's got the 8x10 booth this year, which means there's going to be more space.
Mhm.
And right, Jenna, need it like, oh yeah. Yeah. Oh, the smocks are so awesome. So All for Groomers got the 8x10 booth. Celtic Canine got the 8x10 booth. So yeah, it's good
Boy,
stuff.
it's going to be
And
rocking at Hershey's this year.
yeah, and I mean, she's got so much stuff. I am looking at product like holy crapola. Like, yeah. And that's double-sided.
Mm-hmm.
So wait, what's this way? And then there's
somebody this Facebook user is not going to be at Hershey because she's in the middle of having a baby.
oh yeah, Daria is
She's pregnant.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Or somebody's going to deliver that baby to her in 20 days.
No, she's been cooking this baby like
Like
for
plenty.
some time. I saw her in a room and it was just a little itty bitty wee baby bump. Yeah. So by Hershey, I imagine, yeah, that was wow. She's ready. I guarantee.
Yeah. 20
she's
days before.
ready.
Yeah. Congratulations, Daria. I've always said
Absolutely.
pregnancy should be 7 months because after that, it's like you're done.
She only gained 16 pounds, Mary.
Oh,
How
geez,
disgusting, right?
seriously. Okay. Back in the 80s, they wanted you to put on as much weight as possible. You remember that, Michelle?
Oh, I weighed
It was a
112 pounds at one time. I know that's hard to believe, but I used to weigh 112 pounds. I gained not only the baby's weight, but another 150-pound human being was on me as well. So
Yeah.
it was
You know,
horrendous.
I think
Yeah.
I put on 60 pounds for my first one because they were all encouraging you to put on as much weight as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was wrong. That's probably
Yeah.
wrong. It's more,
Yeah.
you should be healthy, not fat, because you're just having a baby, which was you're just pregnant. You're not sick.
So anyway, and I think that's probably why a lot of women our age have so much trouble losing weight because we put that weight on, we could never get it off.
And I'm tired of trying, honestly. We're going to live how we're going to live.
All right, so we are on our half hour.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess just really quick to recap because, we get off topic sometimes. Just remember to have open communications with your clients. All right. Set them up for success. Set yourself up for success. All right. Okay.
Hershey.
So good question. Oh, Hershey.
Hands down. If you're gonna pick a show,
Hershey.
go to Hershey.
Hershey, yeah.
And I'll be at Hershey too this year.
It is the hugest show. They have so many classes. They have so many things. There's so many people. There's so many vendors. Like,
yeah,
Hershey.
Yeah.
If you're going to go to a show first time, absolutely Hershey.
Oh, and I'm just going to throw this like vague booking thing out there. All right. And I'm not going to say anything about it. After that, but there's going to be a big announcement from Boss Pet at Hershey.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love Super Zoo.
That's all
Super Zoo was fun.
That's all Mary was.
While I love
that.
Super Zoo, and it is absolutely fantastic. And I had the best time last year. Hershey is the same size, but it's entirely grooming.
Right.
Where Super Zoo.
No. Super Zoo is way bigger than Hershey.
It is, but the grooming area is
Super
less
Zoo
than
is
they have
tiny.
in New England.
Yeah. That's what she was comparing it to.
Right.
Okay.
So, like class-wise, there are fewer classes than they have at New England for the New England Grooming Show. There are fewer grooming vendors than at the New England Grooming Show.
Yeah.
So, as far as grooming, Super Zoo is like tiny, where Hershey is like Whoosh.
Okay, so real quick, we got a couple of things that are hitting the airwaves over at on Facebook. The first one is Crazy Liberty. Okay, so a lot of the basically Crazy Liberty pulled some of their a particular product line. From my understanding of it, is that a dog got alcohol poisoning from it and died.
They tried to do it all over body, one color.
So they're having it tested.
Mhm.
They do not know if in fact it was the Crazy Liberty that created the problem.
Right.
So they are doing the testing on the product to find out if in fact it was indeed the product's issue.
Yeah, it
or
could have been a
not.
pre-existing condition.
It could have
Yeah.
been a million different things.
Yeah.
But
There's
just
a
in
lot-
case, they are doing testing to see if in fact that is an issue with this particular.
So,
So the company stepped right up and done due diligence. They're on it. They've notified everybody they can possibly notify.
Yep.
I mean, but there's other things that can cause alcohol poisoning in a dog, and the first thing that comes to my mind is if the dog was in heat stroke at any point, whether it's the groomers or the owners or whatever. Sometimes, not knowing any better, they put the paws in alcohol to cool off the pet, and that's how they absorb. So there can be lots of reasons for alcohol poisoning, and I will give Crazy Liberty props because they pulled a product and they're doing the testing.
They're doing everything they're supposed to do. Absolutely.
Like literally everything you could hope a manufacturer of any product could or would possibly do.
Okay, and the whole AKC NDGA. Oh God, listen.
Go ahead.
All right, I do not have a bone in this at all. Okay, so the AKC, the NDGAA, right from the get go, this was handled poorly by all parties. All right, it should never have been announced until everybody's ducks were in a row. Okay, and because of that, lots of stuff and nobody knew what was going on, and the people involved didn't know what's going on because they didn't have their ducks in a row. So yeah, and I'm sure that's not going to be resolved for quite some time yet. Okay, I am not an NCOC. Like I said, I am. It's for me, it's meaningless.
Yeah. Well, this is where I stand on it. I've got my sporting certification through there. It got sold, and this is how I feel about it objectively. Everybody's doing the very best they can. None of us are going to live for forever. Jeff and all parties associated have to live their life, and we wish them the best. I hope that everything goes smoothly. However, when things of that magnitude change hands, there's bound to be some upset. The earth is always changing. Our politics, our communities, our culture is always in flux. This is just one of those things. Now, I would be heartbroken to see an organization like that lose its muster. I think that it was a great certification program. So many people are certified through that. They got their masters through that. And that is the gateway to the show world. If you're interested in showing, those are the type of people you want mentoring you. I think everybody needs to calm down a little bit. I understand that the emotions are running really high, but if you calm down and look at it objectively, because it is a business as well, it's a business. You have to let these people figure this out. And anytime I try to do something new, or I'm on a committee to do a new endeavor, there's things that you have to iron out. And sometimes it's rocky at first and it smooths out. It will never be what it was because the people who made it that way are no longer with that company. I know a lot of certifiers have resigned because it's not like it was. Each certifier who resigned has their own personal reasons why that's not a fit for them. That doesn't mean they're bad, and that doesn't mean the new thing is going to be bad. It's just different. And as human beings, we fear change. We fear change. We want it the way it always was because it's comfortable that way. It's safe. We want to know that entity is always going to be there for us. But things have to change in order to get better. And I'm hoping for the best. I'm hoping that they do get their ducks in a row. They do work things out. And it may not be like it was before, but it's going to be a new good thing. So I'd like everybody who is hurt over it and has questions in their heart about it to just settle for a minute. Don't do anything rash. You can always cancel your membership later if you still hate it. You don't have to get your next certification. If you're unsure, you can wait for it to settle down before you seek to complete your certification. Just everybody calm down and try to love everyone through this because it's hard on everybody. The people that are trying to make it better are doing their very best to make it better. You know what I mean? They're not just saying, oh, well, yeah, we'll just give it to them and it's going to be fine and whatever. They're working really hard.
I have seen a rather large bullseye be placed upon certain individuals who are still there and trying to work it out and do the best they can. I'm going to ask that while I understand their opinion may not be your opinion, and they may agree with the turn that things have taken, and you disagree with the turn that things have taken, they are allowed as individuals to have that opinion.
Mm-hmm.
That does not make them scum of the earth or horrible people. They're allowed to have that opinion. And they're an employee and they're working for this person, this organization.
Mm-hmm.
And just because they're an employee doesn't mean that they get to be the center of your bullseye and you get to treat them like utter trash.
Mm-hmm.
That is not cool. That is, up until a few months ago, maybe someone that you respected and thought highly of and said, well, they're very learned. And now you're trying to smack them around like they're a rented mule. Uncool, people. Uncool. Just
And
straight.
I want to address this thing right here, this Facebook thing. Sorry. Words just come out sometimes. Says now it doesn't mean anything. Now those certifications don't mean anything. They mean the same thing as they did when you earned them. Anybody that has an older certification or different of the breed trims or whatever, if you have a certification with them, I personally will recognize every single certificate from National Dog Grooming Association. Absolutely. You earned that certificate. Just because the thing goes defunct or it gets sold or it gets mutated somehow, you are absolutely still recognized as whatever it is that you certified for. Don't think that was wasted time. Don't think that was wasted skill. You still have that skill set. You earned that certificate. So don't think it's just whatever. Now just throw it in the trash. Put it on your wall. Put it on your wall.
Yeah, the standards have definitely not been lowered. If anything, they've been upgraded,
Right.
because they're adding and then you need to, and you also need to.
I think what she's referring to is that the actual testing done by the certifiers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that if the certifiers are jumping ship, who's left to certify, and are those certifiers qualified to certify? I believe that is what she's trying to say. As
Okay,
far as
well, we don't know who the new certifiers are.
And
so
fair enough. You have
judge.
to give it some time. You absolutely have to give it some time to settle. I can't open up a shop front grooming and then in one day and say, okay, I'm open for business. I mean, I probably could, but I'm just saying I can't install the tub and, get everything going and get all of the bills in order and get all that stuff in order in one day. They're going to take a while. What were you referring to so we can address it?
Mindy said, if you don't renew, you lose all your certification, which is true for any org that I belong to, for any certification that I've gotten.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't renew, they go by the wayside.
But that has to do with your dues.
Yeah.
That doesn't have to do with the skill that made you earn that certificate. That is what my point was. And yeah.
So she
That's
said,
all I'm
I
aware of.
believe you'd have to start over, which is very likely
Yeah.
if you let it lapse.
Yeah.
But that's like that in any organization.
Hmm.
It's like, oh, you let your membership go. So, um,
Yes, I did hear that if you just do the National Dog Groomers thing, then you're a certified master groomer through them. But the AKC one, you have to take all their courses to be certified AKC. So it's like two different certifications right now, and eventually, I believe they're going to meld into one. Um, yeah. Yes. I believe it's going to be okay. I just think we fear change. We're afraid of change. We're afraid to know, hey, well, what's going to happen to me? I worked really hard. And believe me, I just did the sporting breeds. And let me tell you, that's the reason I don't have the whole certification. I did it one time and I was like, kill me now. It's hard. So if you've earned any of those certificates, I will personally recognize you for your skill set. But as far as being certified, even my husband has a certification that costs $400 that he has to have in order to apply his trade. And it's dues. It's the dues that they're looking for. Any certification has to be caught up on dues because you have to do a, what do you call it? Continuing ed. Yeah, I don't know anything about the automatic Barkley Award nomination. That's kind of crazy. That's like giving sugar to a diabetic. That's wrong.
I don't know what that means.
All right. So, and I
If-
think there's a lot of confusion on this, and they announced it really poorly because they basically announced at PetQuest that if you sign up for the certification, you can automatically get a Barkley Award nomination, which just really, yeah.
Award for what? For signing
Award
up?
for what?
Right.
Well, I don't think they hammered out the whole ducks in a
Again,
row.
you're just going to have to give them some leeway and let them iron things out. It may take a minute. Just make sure that you're in constant contact with your contact person, whoever it is that you're speaking to in those organizations, to make sure that your name is on some kind of a list that you're going to continue through. But I would just pause for a moment, let them figure stuff out without being hammered constantly by us, and just let it go for just a minute and let them see what they can do.
Actually, I'm going to just slightly disagree with you there. It's not like we should just like not hammer them and not be nasty about it, but as an organization, they still need to know how you feel about it so that they can make the proper decisions, because after all, you're their customer.
Mm-hmm. That's true. And that's what I meant. Just don't yell at them for no reason, just because you're emotional. Try to take your emotions out of it.
We don't have to be like the people that you see on TikTok and YouTube that people are going, whoa, wow.
Right.
And sharing it with their friends going, oh my God, do you see this crazy chick? Holy, what the?
Yeah.
So yeah, we don't have to be those people.
Yeah. Everybody just take deep breaths. Take deep breaths. Give them a moment. Make sure your voice is heard. Send them an email. Write them a letter. Text if you can text them, or if they have a Facebook or whatever. We just have to give it time. We have to give it time. Meanwhile, there is still IPG. There is still ISCC. There are still other organizations that are happily willing to help you get certified. And really, we're all on the same page. All of us are trying to educate the industry and all the people that are coming up. Find a good mentor in the meantime to help you sharpen up your skills so that when you do take those practicals, you're just going to zoom right through them, and that's going to be great.
Right. So the Barkley category is for AKC Master Groomer of the Year. So that's going to be a specific category.
Interesting. Okay. See how it plays out. It might be a great program. Everybody just let them see it. If they come out with everything, okay, we've ironed everything out, and here it is. You still, at that moment, can say, ugh, I don't like it. Or, okay, let's try it. So let's see what they come up with before we just totally freak out.
Well, here's the thing, too. Not everybody is going to like every certifying organization. Mm-hmm. Just because we all groom dogs doesn't mean we're all going to love every single certifying organization or the way they do things. Mm-hmm. Just because we groom cats and we love cats, you're not necessarily going to like every cat organization. Mm-hmm. Just because, it's everything is everybody has their own views, their own opinions, their own way they do, and you find what meshes with how you work and what feels right to you. Go with that. If you don't like it, don't do it.
Mhm.
You know, nobody's
Right.
like, you're gonna do this.
Mhm.
So if you don't like it, don't do it.
Right. Absolutely. Just cuts people some slack. They're trying to pick up where somebody else left off and figure it out. They're still trying to figure it out. It's not going to be done in a day, probably not in a week, probably not in a month. So just take it in stride and just love them through it. Just love everybody through it. It's hard. It's hard to change.
Okay, so now we're 20 minutes past. Okay, so we are going to now wrap it up. If anybody has a topic we want to discuss for next week, please let us know that. You could drop it on any of the wherever you're watching this. Just drop us a message, and we'll see everybody. Let me just make sure. Yep, we'll see everybody next week. Oh, it'll be the 4th of July, by the way. All right. See you all next week.
See ya.